Welcome everyone to another episode of the Digital Toolbox Podcast. I am your host, Enmanuel Tejada. I'm the owner of Landscape Maverick. We are a branding and marketing agency for landscapers and hardscapers in the US and Canada. Pleasure to have you guys watching our episodes. Today's actually the first episode we do in person. We've got a special guest, but before we get into the intro, guys, if you find value in this podcast, give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram, shout us out, help us grow. We've got a special guest for you guys, and it's the first episode we're doing in person, so I had to bring in somebody fucking special. I've got the Dana wife of Hardscape. Anthony, introduce yourself, man. Let's get into it.
Thanks for having me, bro. My name is Anthony Mann Jr. Been in the Hardscape business for about 37 years now. It's a passion. I love it. Wouldn't find myself doing anything else.
Yes, sir. And I'm excited to have you all, man. We're going to tell the story of how we met. And dude, let's just get into it. Let me ask you the first question. Who was Anthony in high school? How would you describe that? How, what was going through your mind?
I was just a kid, doing what kids do. Played sports, played in the dirt outside, but my father was a workaholic. So I enjoyed working, and he had me out there with him on the weekends. I used to, mow lawns in the neighborhood. Like a lot of the guests you hear on a lot of podcasts in this industry, we all started, somehow a lot of them started mowing neighbors' lawns and started slowly building up from there. And that's basically how we started. Enjoyed doing it, and my father was a builder. So he was a builder, third generation Mason, and he was building a house, and they put a pool in, and the first line of pavers came off in North Jersey, and they did his pool, and the Masons did it. They were building the house. So they didn't have hardscapers, they didn't have landscapers, didn't do this stuff. It was Masons. I mean, this goes back so far that we didn't cut the brick back then. You had three patterns: running bond, basket weave, or herringbone. And you used a chisel to make that spot. There was no compaction equipment. It was basically, there was somebody who was old. Hand compactors, in fact, they used natural sand, mason sand, fines. It's amazing watching the innovation. We can get into that a little bit later, but the innovation from 83 to 2024, it's crazy.
So 30 years, pretty much. 30 years.
37 years I've been.
Holy shit.
36, 37. Hardscape maybe 34, but in the industry, like about 36, 37. I started young.
Dude, I fucking love it. And let's get into it, because I love picking guys that get brave, because you have a name, you put the name for yourself. You've done a lot in the industry, a lot of people know who you are, a lot of people have a lot of respect for you, and rightfully so. I mean, you've done a lot. So let me ask you this. At what point of your life were you serious about, when did you become serious about hardscaping and landscaping and being this? When was that?
I would say my junior year of high school. I would pull up to school with a truck and a trailer, and I would leave school at 12 o'clock, and I'd go cut lawns and put pavers in.
At 12 o'clock. What was school?
2:30, but I was on the co-op program.
Really?
So I had that back then. Yeah, they had that back then, and unless it was football season, then I had to stick around all day.
Wow. That's fucking insane. So you would go to high school, you would go to school, get out at 12, and from 12 until like nighttime, you would just go and do work. Go and work for your dad or for?
No, for myself. So my father, he built houses, but that was his side hustle. He was an operating engineer, so he had a full-time job. He worked from 5:30, and when he left the house at 5:30 in the morning, to get home at 8 o'clock at night. He was a hustler. That's where I get my work ethic from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's amazing. That's fucking amazing. And so, since you were in high school, you were serious about making money with landscaping, hardscaping. At what point did you transition? Because now you're at a point where you guys just do straight hardscape projects, right?
Yep. So we are 80% hardscaping. We have a masonry division, so we do foundations, we do concrete work, block work, We also have an excavation division, so we do site clearing, lot clearing. We did our own foundations, and we ended up completing our first ground-up general contracting project last year. Actually, it was this year, it was February this year, we opened the doors. And we did that from helping the client procure the property to working with the engineering firm, getting township approvals, cut the first tree down to, it was Jim putting the weights on the night before he opened, racking all the weights so that they could open up in the morning.
You guys did that yourselves?
We did it all ourselves. We subbed out the structure, electrical, plumbing,
Right.
but we handled all the excavation, all the concrete work, all the site work, and we GC'd the project for our client.
Wow. Is that kind of like where you're going now, like more from GC?
No, I have a passion for the hardscape. We will do a job here or there. We're looking to build a couple houses, but that's not some. I will always be in the hardscape industry. That's my passion. But there's other avenues to be in business,
Right.
and we will take every avenue we can. I'm a serial entrepreneur.
I fucking love that. You're always looking to go and get it. So, and talk to me, man. I know you're doing 75 hard right now. Talk to me about that. I know it's not your first time doing it.
So this is my 7th round of 75 hard, and I've completed the Live Hard twice. So this is my 3rd year of the Live Hard program.
3rd year.
And it's been an instrumental part of me growing my business.
Being fit,
But
fitness, your mindset.
75 Hard is a mental toughness program, and it teaches you discipline, fortitude, and grit. It teaches habits. It helps with time management because you have certain things you have to get done. It helps your time management incredibly. People think it's like a diet or a fitness program, and it's not. It's a mental toughness program, and some people call it a challenge. It is not a challenge. This is a program that Andy Frisella created, and it has changed many, many lives. We use it as a tool to get better every day.
It's your second time doing it, right?
No, so I've completed 75 hard 7 times. This is my 8th.
7 times?
7 times. This is my 8th. I've completed the Live Hard program, which adds 3 phases on top of the 75 days, and it spans over a year.
So you've done 75 hard. Because I think 75 hard is enough of a challenge.
It was the toughest thing I did the first time. The second time it was a little easier. But you get better every time you do it. You learn new things.
But the first time though, like you're running a business though, and you're doing 75 hours, which what 2 workouts per day, 1 indoor, 1 outdoor,
A gallon of water, no alcohol, no cheat meals. Pick a diet and stick to it. Take a progress picture and read 10 pages of a entrepreneurial, motivational, nonfiction book.
Wow. And you're doing that while you're in the business.
Oh yeah.
Was it a challenge? What was the other challenge?
When I first did it, yeah, it was a challenge because you were worried about these tasks. Now it's a lifestyle for me. I'm just accustomed to it. So on the Live Hard program, you have the first 75 days. Then you have phase 1, which you can start on day 76 if you want. And it adds more things to it. So you have to take a cold shower. There's 10 minutes of visualization. Phase 2, you have to wait 30 days off between the phases. So it's to get you to try and slip up.
30 days off.
30 days off. There's no counting the program. So what I do is I do everything and I hold myself accountable with a hashtag no days off. And it keeps me going. You know, but they want you to follow up. They want to see if you can handle keeping those disciplines that he's taught you in there. So you have 30 days in between, and then it's the same as 75 hard. And phase 1 has that cold shower. That was the toughest thing for me because I did it in the winter, and I have well water. It's cold. Yeah, extra cold. Yes. So phase 2 though is just your regular 75 hard, but for 30 days. Phase 3. You can't start that until 30 days before you started phase 1 the year before. So you started 75 hard. You end on the day you started, a year later.
That is out of life.
That adds something that was the hardest thing for me. You have to have a conversation with a stranger.
Every day?
Every day. For 30 days, you got to walk up to a stranger and just have a conversation with them.
About what?
Anything. I found myself at Home Depot at 10 o'clock at night looking for somebody. Home Depot, there's other contractors that they're easy for me to talk to. I had one when I was in a snowstorm. Cloud, I was out all night. I couldn't find things just happened for a reason. A guy pulled into a parking lot I was at. He was an older gentleman. He couldn't get the light in his car to go off. And you have to do a good deed as well. So my good deed was helping him figure out how to turn his light off. And I struck a 10 minute conversation up with this gentleman. Found out he was a school teacher. He was a substitute teacher. There was 6 inches of snow. I'm like, there's not going to be school today. He goes, yeah, but I got to be there. Even if there's no school, I'm going to be there because if they need me, I'm going to be there.
Wow.
You learn a lot about somebody in a 5-10 minute conversation with them.
1,000%. And it's funny because a lot of what you're doing in 75 Guards Led Bar transfers to entrepreneurship, transfers to everyday life.
Makes you the best version of yourself. When you're the best version of yourself, you're going to win a business. It helps in every aspect of your business.
Easy that a fat person can win a business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But a fit person is going to work a lot harder. Guaranteed it.
You think so? Well, no, I agree, actually. I was going to challenge you, but I agree. I mean, because if you can't,
if you're going to the gym or doing 2 workouts a day, you're disciplined. You have, and listen, a heavy-set person can be disciplined. But this program has changed my life. I used to be the fat guy. I weighed over 300 pounds.
300 pounds?
I was like 310. I'm 208 right now.
So you lost 100 pounds, didn't matter what.
4 or 5 years. 5 years.
Holy shit. Dude, but you did it right, though, because I know a lot of guys go fat, super fat, but they're like flabby.
Yeah, no. This wasn't something where I was going to lose it and gain it back. This was something I took my time and I worked my ass off to get where I am right now. And I'll never go back. I'm healthier at 49 years old. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm less than I was in high school. I was down to 201.9 a month and a half, 2 months ago. I wanted to see that scale hit 199 for 10 minutes. That's all. Just one time. I just wanted to see that number. And I didn't make it. No, I didn't make it.
But you're not too far off.
No, I'm 208. I'm happy at 208, though. I feel the best I've ever felt. My body, I have much more confidence when I do things.
Right.
I just feel great.
That's amazing, but I love that. And I think it's even harder to do what you did because you lost the weight over 4 years. Now, I'm not saying that losing 100, let's say you did it in 1 year, losing 100 pounds in 1 year. Yeah, it's good, but I would say that it takes a lot more mental toughness and fortitude to do it over 4 years. Like, that's 4 years of straight. We went to the gym, and
It's working out.
you have like
Healthy.
40 years.
And I got to give up things that I love. I'm Italian. I love pasta. I love tiramisu. I love cannolis. I love it all, man. And I gave up drinking beer. I haven't drank a beer in probably 10 years now. Now, when I'm not on the program, I'll have a drink. But I'm not going to drink beer where it's at those carbs and I'll have some vodka.
Wow. But that's amazing because even when you're not on a program, when you're just living life, having a good meal, like Dubai, you still are like conscious of the things that you live into your body. Even though you're not on the challenge.
When I was younger, I would eat anything like it was organic. Now everything I eat is organic. Like I look at the labels on food now that I'm eating. It's crazy that when you want to be healthy, what you start to do to get healthy. And it's all lifestyle change. And, hopefully I smoked for 30 years. I quit 2 years ago, haven't had a cigarette.
Wow.
Yeah. I might have had one here or there when I had a drink or something, but I'll smoke a cigar so I'm not inhaling it.
Right. I was going to ask, how does the cigar kind of affect that? Do you ever feel like, holy shit, I'm not smoking a cigarette right now?
No. I had no desire. People could be sitting here smoking a cigarette next to me, and I don't even want it.
Wow.
Yep.
That is amazing. One last thing on fitness here, bro. So, do you think a lot of entrepreneurs, like, I know I'm not lettuce component of it, I think, and Sola, all these top guys that are high performance, they always say that it's always best to start with a lot in order to, to transform their life. Like, somebody's fucked up, they're addicted to drugs, they're fat, they're overweight, undriven. Is the first step the body, or what is the first step?
I don't know what the first step is, to be honest. I was in business for years. I did okay. The minute I got my fitness and health in line, my brain worked better, and I was able to scale and grow my business. So there's something there. It's more the tools that I learned from this program that helped me in my business and be able to. And then I went and hired business coaches. So Andy Sutherland and they're both my business coaches. Both, yes. And I have another business coach, Brian Hess, who is an amazing coach. He runs Top Contractor School. He's out of Pittsburgh. He's in the paving business. He has helped me build culture in our company. He's helped me scale my company. Leadership. There's so many things I learned from these coaches. The first year I joined RTA Syndicate, I grew my business 700%. Over 700%.
700%. What is that in numbers?
It was a lot.
So where were you at before? After that 700? Like, what does that mean? Like 700%, what is that in numbers? Like money-wise?
It was over $1 million that we grew in 1 year.
Whoa. Were you doing $1 million the year before?
Under.
Wow.
So there was a time in my life I had an accident, lost my eye, I got addicted, and we ended up. I was doing just enough to get by. So my business went from here way down to here, and I lost the eye, painkillers, doing enough just to get by, pay the mortgage, pay the bills, pay 2 guys to just go out and work. The day I got off those bills, I joined Arte, and I just
That same day.
straight up.
That same day.
No, but probably a couple weeks later.
Wow. Very similar time. Holy shit.
I applied for Arte, didn't get in for 6 months. You can't just join. It's an application-driven coaching group. So you have to be accepted in there.
So you don't just pay them?
No. No, you have to be accepted. You fill out a rigorous application. They have a team of people, and you have both go over themselves.
So who do they let in? Who do they not? How does that work?
They let in people that want to get better. They don't let in people that just want to do the same thing. They want to live by the core values. They want to be a better person. You know, they look for these traits. They're 2 of the most intelligent men that I've ever met.
Wow. That's fucking amazing. So a guy that's, has $1 million, addicted to cocaine or something, but he doesn't want to get better, he's not willing to work, they will let it out.
I don't know their exact processes,
Right.
but I know that they don't accept everybody.
They don't accept everybody. Guy, which is cool because it shows that they care about who they let in. So they're so.
It's a very tight, and some of my best friends are in that group. So people I was friends with growing up, I don't have any of those friends now. People I used to sit in the garage and drink beer with, and talk about other people. Those aren't my friends anymore. People that are my friends now are all high-driven, entrepreneurial people who want to get better every day. So when we sit around, we're talking about business. We're talking about how can we get better. We're talking about our last round of 75 bar. We're talking about hyping each other up. We don't talk shit about people. We don't do that.
I love that. Wow. Arte Syndicate. Great investment or what?
That's the best. One of the best investments I ever made.
That's fucking awesome. And you know what? Let's transition a little bit into Hardscape. Because you have a patent. And out of everybody that's in the industry, man, not only because I've seen your personal flag and on board, but your work speaks to me. Like, it's not. You can tell that it looks good, but it's also flawed. So can you talk a little bit about that? Like, is it possible? Like, I know a lot of guys do the luxurious work, but does it last 10 years? Does it last 5 years? Like, on average, what do your project?
I've gone to projects we did 25 years ago, and they need to be cleaned, and you might have a paver low here or there and need some sand, but structurally, they're in good shape. Everything is in the base. Everything is how you prepare to put the pavers down. Anybody can put pavers down, but it's how much you're digging out. It's what material you're using. Back in the 80s, they used quarry process, modified, whatever you want to call it, and they used mason sand. Now, then they switched to concrete sand. A lot of guys are using stone dust and use stone dust.
Is that the same?
Stone dust, you don't want to use stone dust on your project. You're going to have a failed project. That holds moisture. About 8 years ago, we switched over to what's called an open graded base.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hybrid technology. Basically, think about railroad tracks. Railroad tracks are built on 2 foot of clean stone. They don't move. The
2
water
foot, 2 foot of what?
clean stone. So you see railroad tracks, you see all that stone around it.
Right.
There's usually about 2 foot of it. Doesn't hold any water. You don't get any freeze thaw. So we build all of ours on open graded base, so 3/4 clean, 6 to 12 inches. Driveway, we might go a little bit bigger. Filtered fabric underneath that to separate the soil. And then we're using a 1/4 inch chip stone. And we're screening that as our bedding layer. And then we're installing our pavers. There's no moisture. We get no settlement. We've had 1 callback in 7 years for a low paver when we switched over to that hybrid system.
Wow. So you go for your body that are 25 years old and they still look good. Like it's, I mean, they're meant to be clean.
Yeah, they need to be clean.
But
Structurally, that's structurally.
yeah, like every table wall is there. The dirt hasn't pushed it over. It's solid.
Yes.
That's fucking amazing. So you said, give us some more details. Give us some more tips on that. So let me ask you this: what if you use the best materials, but the foundation isn't there? You're saying that, like.
It's like a house. You have to have a strong foundation. Right. If you don't have a strong foundation, your house is going to crumble. Build a strong foundation, put your pavers in the right way, and you're not going to have an issue. You know, we're selling longevity to our clients. We're selling the details matter. So I look at a lot of projects. They step up on the wall, you'll see just a factory block. They end it with that, and there's a factory cap. It's not finished. Right. Every one of our caps at the end, it was split. Got a nice split face so it matches the texture. We're using a corner block where we're splitting a block to return it to make it look finished. Our biggest thing is details matter. We explain that to our customers and we show them. All of our 45s are miter cuts. We never just butt pavers up against each other on a 45. It's always a miter cut.
Really?
You have the hardscape industry. There's this thing about 4 corners. You should never have 4 corners. To me, it's not that big of a deal.
What if you have 4 corners but good fishing? Does it make a difference?
I don't think 4 corners is going to give you a structural issue because a lot of newer style pavers are these bigger slabs, and they're running 24 by 24s right next to each other. Every one of them's 4 corners, and they don't fail if it's done right. Our edging we do, so we're on open graded base. We don't use the plastic edging with the railroad tie spikes, frost pushes them out of the ground. We've created our own blend.
And do concrete?
Yeah, we do our own blend though. We don't use any of the manufactured stuff, but it does have our own polymers we put in it.
Really?
Our own PSI concrete we use. We have fiber to it, and we also lay geogrid underneath 2 foot of our edge and pavers and bring that out and wrap that into our concrete, so there's no lateral shifting of that concrete.
It's fucking sick.
It's about the details.
So you're not just like, and it's cool that these products exist. I'm not gonna name any brand, but it's cool that they exist because they make it easy for like a smaller contractor that may not be as educated or
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. But you guys are going above and beyond it. It's curious. I mean,
We're masons as well, so we understand the chemistry of concrete and mortar.
So it's not just all about my outdoor living company. I'll put down pavers, but I don't understand the chemistry of the science. You guys are more.
So we can add a little bit more Portland to our concrete mix to get a higher PSI concrete. We can add modifiers and binders to it. We can add the fiber to it, right? And we can make that stuff very, very strong.
Wow. I'm very impressed. I actually have not heard of anybody doing that. I mean, I've seen content of guys doing creative things, but you're talking about creating your own blend, creating your own stand. Dude, you guys are you a nice fucking, manufacturer out there for
No.
some
No.
products? Some products or what?
Nope. So I don't like manufacturing. We take a smooth block so all retaining walls used to have that rough base on. Now we have these smooth face retaining walls.
Right.
So we ended up taking building a smooth face retaining wall, but to give it an accent, we took a smooth block, split it, flipped it a solid block, and now we have that rough texture in there, and we inset it in an inch to give it the detail. It's just doing things that other people aren't doing. And there's a couple of these guys out there that are doing that. I mean, a couple of really talented talented hardscapers that
I
I
need to
know.
ask you a question. These guys that you mentioned, what's their age? How old are these young guys?
A guy came up with that was in his 30s,
Okay, that's not too young. So it's not like a nice.
but he's been in business 15 years. You know, and he came to me, he was like a little gangster. Pants were down around his knees. Oh boy, what's up? And I was like, oh boy. He came out to be one of our best employees.
Wow, still with you to this day.
We just had him retire a couple months ago.
Wow. Okay. Wow, that's amazing. And so my goal around asking that question, like how old the guy was, just because do you think it's possible for 21, 22, let's say somebody comes and works for you for 5 years, and you teach them the insides and outs. Can that guy do the quality work that you can do at 45 years old?
Absolutely.
30 years.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
So he doesn't have to
He's trained right.
right. So he doesn't have to have 30 years of experience to do amazing work.
No,
But
absolutely
then
not.
you can teach.
Absolutely not. Yeah, no. And in 5 years, you can teach somebody how to do it right.
You can teach
And teach them the details and be able to do 90% of the aspects. The experience comes into innovation, how quick you're going to get a job done, because you failed. I failed so many times, I know what not to do. So we're able to eliminate failures. We're able to figure out the quickest way to get it done, but get it done the right way. A lot of young guys wanted to skip corners. You cannot skip corners. You have to have integrity when you build these projects because they're meant to last 20, 30, 35 years. I've been on jobs that failed after 1 year.
Wow.
And we're there replacing it after 1 year. And it's usually the guy that we lost the job to because he was half of our price.
It can't be cheaper. You're like, oh gosh. And you know what? Let's stay on that topic.
That's why we're in business for 37 years.
Right. And dude, I mean, imagine being the customer in a situation where you pay somebody, they give you a little price, you go with them, and then they end up fucking up, and now a guy like you guys are coming in because you're paying twice.
And it costs twice as much because you got to rip it apart and then rebuild it. So it cost them 4 times the amount of our original quote. They thought they were going to save half. Now they're paying 4 times more. Because a lot of times you got to buy more material. You've got to pay to take that project apart, re-dig it all out, and then put it back. And now if you're using poly sand, you got to clean all those papers. Got to be cleaned. That's time. Time is money.
Fucking, I hate seeing so and I deal with that often because with my marketing and branding agency, we tell guys, hey, listen, the reason why they're going with those cheaper contractors is because they don't trust you. I mean, like, yes, the price is cheaper, but the customer's got to see a price. Like, you have to be able to sell the value, so the quality, the fact that it's gonna last, like you're not gonna have to pay twice. So, how do you deal with that as a company? I mean, I'm not sure if you deal with it because you have 30 years of experience, people. But do you still get arguments on price? How do you compete with a guy that's offering it 50%?
Because I'm not bidding against that. The jobs they're bidding are not the jobs we're bidding. So all of my work, we don't do any marketing, we don't do any advertising. I might post here or there on Facebook or Instagram. I post on my stories every day. But I don't have new people driven there to look at that work. That's my clients, my friends, other contractors are looking at that stuff. So all of our work is referral and return customers. Referral. That is the best way to build your brand in the hardscape industry.
Can I challenge you on one thing?
Yeah.
Well, does that apply for a 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old that may not be as known, but it is in the industry?
As long as they do right by the customer,
Right.
they're going to get a referral. But they have to do right. They have to, you asked me a question a couple weeks ago when we met. Give me 3 things. When you're that young, answer your phone. Show up when you say you're going to show up and do the right thing. If you do the right thing and you do the job right, you're going to have successful business. We're booked out. We're in September now. We're already booked out through next May with work.
Next May.
Next May. Yeah, anybody who calls me right now is getting scheduled May or June.
And they'll wait.
They do this week.
How does that work? Do you take a deposit now?
We take 10% holding deposit. But now we're working on designs for them. So we're still working with this customer in contact with this client. We're not just, hey, give us your 10% and we'll see you then. Our job, 90% of our jobs, we're doing design going forward. They're intricate projects. They're full backyard makeovers. They're full outdoor living. They're not just a sidewalk. They're not just a little patio. They're a full-blown pool, outdoor kitchen, pergolas, lighting. Now, we will do landscaping for our hardscape clients. If you were Mrs. Jones and called me up and said, "Will you put 10 arborvitaes in for me?" We will not do that. If you are our client that we're doing your whole backyard, we will put the plants in. I went to school for landscape design and construction management.
Oh, wow.
We are not landscapers. We don't want to be landscapers. We don't want to compete with landscapers. We are hardscape and outdoor living contractors.
Wow. Would you say there's a difference between those two words, between outdoor living contractors and hardscapers?
So outdoor living contractors are giving you everything. They're giving you a destination. They're giving you a backyard that you can go out and feel like you're in a resort. A hardscape contractor is going to put your 20 by 20 patio in, put your 4-foot retaining wall in, or your 30-foot retaining wall. Outdoor living is when you bring it all together. Fire pits, pizza ovens, seating walls, making a place for your family to come together, for your friends to come together and enjoy yourselves.
Wow. But I love that because that's a really intricate description of what it is. Because I've had James Sweet from...
Yeah, I know James very well.
Amazing dude. Shout out to James if he's watching.
Love you, brother.
Yes, sir. He mentions that
He's got his niche.
He's got his niche. Yeah, he's got his niche. Which he's the McDonald's of hardscape, right? Which I freaking love because he's got a big target market. He says not everybody's gonna have money for a Ferrari or Lamborghini, but you still have more Honda than you still have more. So
He's got his target market. We have our target market.
Right. So is there a middle ground that you would recommend guys to choose? Or would you say to just take whatever comes?
Listen, when I was young, I took whatever came. When you're building, right, you got to take whatever comes. But you figure out what you like, what you have a passion for. I have a passion and a vision, so I can look in the backyard and I know exactly what I'm going to build. A lot of guys can't do that. A lot of guys just want, they can't find the help and the experience these days. So doing the smaller 20 by 20 square, you can mass produce those. I need craftsmen on my jobs. I need guys that have integrity and that have a want to be there, because if not, it's not going to get built. Right? Does that make sense?
It does. No, it definitely does. Because if it was something basic, then you don't need talent. Or as much talent. Like you guys do intricate shit. Like it's different. Do you ever take a 3D design that was super complex, you did it for a client, can you sell that same design to somebody else?
No, every job is different.
But is that because you don't want to, because that probably is unique to that client, or you just...
Every backyard is different. We don't work in an area where you have tract homes, where they're all 30 by 40 backyards.
Right.
Where do we work? We have property. The backyards can have some terrain, so they might need a retaining wall here. They might need some drainage over here. The first thing we look at when we walk into a project is the drainage. Where's the water coming from? Where's it going? Leader drains. My father taught me something when I was a young kid. Control the water, you control the project. Control the water. If you don't control the water, you're going to have, your pavers are going to fail. So drainage is the most important thing on any project. And that's the first thing we look at.
But doesn't the design get in the way of that? Like, for example, like if you go in and you say, okay, the water's coming from here and here, but then you have a retaining wall, you have a pool, like can the pool get in the way of the drainage? Like,
well, you've got to know what you're doing. So, for instance, we just did a small project for a friend and put a hot tub in, and they needed a pad.
a pad, what does that mean?
A pad for the hot tub.
Okay.
They already had a patio that somebody else put in. It's a small 20 by 10. It was set too low. It was getting water on top. Came in, we set this. set the pattern. Well, then they decided, oh wait, we want to add this. And 2 weeks later, he called me back and said, I want to add that. And they went big. When I told them the first day we were out there, this is what we should do. And we could have made it perfect. Well, because we went back and added on, we didn't know we were going to do that. There were some drainage issues then. That if we then we had to go back and put a French drain in and collect all that water and get it out of there. The previous contractor had put some plastic drains in the middle of the pavers, and they dug a hole 2 foot deep and filled it with gravel. That's gonna fail.
Yeah, that's not safe.
I got pictures of him that he sent me. The water was up out of the drains coming out. We took them out, put the French drain in, piped that to daylight. Let that water get out and go to daylight. If you can't get to daylight, you get a concrete tank. Drop it on the ground. Daylight means it's coming out of the ground to daylight, so it can drain freely out of the ground.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So at a low point, you got to have pitch on that pipe. If you can't get to daylight, then you're going to dig a hole, put a concrete tank in with holes in it.
What feet?
It's just a concrete structure. Seepage pits, they call them. They can fill it with water and then drain through slowly. Fill them with gravel all around it, run your pipes. You know, it's almost like a septic tank.
Right.
But it's got holes in it to let the water dissipate out and get down. Some counties in New Jersey, for every amount of square footage, you have to have a certain amount of storage. Luckily, I don't do any jobs in those areas. Because that's all.
So does that mean that you can't? I mean, can you incorporate both? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
under that solution, like you incorporate,
Every
every
drainage job is unique to the project. Everyone is different. There's none. A French drain is the same on every job. We're digging a trench. We're putting filter fabric in. We're putting a piece of pipe in with stone. But how we design it, how we pitch it, where we run it to, is it going to go to a catch basin? Is it going to go to daylight? Every job is unique. Every job needs its own drainage design. Wow. So you want to get that design done at the beginning. Know what everything is going to be done on that project. Now, we have clients that do jobs over 10 years. They do a section here, a section here. But we get that information. We ask the right questions on the initial consultation.
Right.
And we're able to plan for the future. Now, there's jobs that we go to. The people bought the house. It's a new project. We got to get crafty and come up with some funky designs for drainage, but we do it.
Let me ask you, when you say that design, is that a flat design, like a 2D, or is it a 3D, fully cinematic?
Drainage is just a 2D. But our hardscapes, yeah, no. So I draw them out 2D.
Yourself? Oh, so you're doing yourself?
Yeah, I went to school for landscape design.
Wow.
So and when I was there, remember, I'm old. I'm aging myself again.
It's 25.
We had the option to do AutoCAD because the computers were this big, or to do hand drawings. I selected hand drawings. I wasn't a technology type.
So they let you choose.
They let us choose because it was so new. Now you go in, it's all computer.
Right.
And I draw them out. I actually work with another company. I send my hand drawings to him. He creates the 3D renderings for me. So we get a video, we get regular pictures, and then we get a 2D design with measurements on it.
Nice. That was gonna be my next question. So those 3D cinematic videos where the client can really get a feel and for the or do we like this? Do we really like
They know what they're getting before we stick a bucket in the drain.
beautiful. And does that guy incorporate the drainage in there too?
If I ask him to, but I usually just do that on my own sketches and we handle that in.
So you got a 3D rendering, you can't see the drainage, right?
No, it's all underground. Nope, you don't see it. Not on the plans. You might see the top of a catch basin or something like that, but we do all that in house with the drainage. He's doing the hardscape design for us. I do the design and I send it to him and he just animates it for me.
But it's up to read it in a way that the client can see it.
Can see it.
Because yours is just that contractor can understand it, but the client's like, what the fuck is it? What is this? Like it's just on the floor. They're not gonna understand the English.
Right, and that's what's great about it. We do it for about 90% of our clients now.
Wow. Did you ever do a project without a design?
Yes.
If it's basic, right?
Yeah. I've done big jobs without a design. We're a design build company. We'll take a design and we'll be halfway through it. And the project doesn't look anything like the design because we've come up with something that flows better. We talk to the client and we change it. Sometimes we got to do it exactly the way the design was.
Does that like bite you in the ass if you go up with the like off freeform or like?
No, sometimes it bites me in the ass when we follow the design.
Really?
Yeah. And that's why we're making the changes. My one rule is every designer, architect, and engineer should have 5 to 10 years field experience before they're allowed to put a damn line on a piece of paper.
That's true. I didn't think about that, but that's true
Because we get out there and they want this wall 7 foot 6 inches. Well, a full block runs out to 7 foot 8. Why am I going to cut 2 inches off? You know, or the pavers, they want it 12.4. When if I lay full pavers, it's 12.6 or 12.2. Why am I making a cut and not keeping everything symmetrical?
Right.
So no, we do a lot of change. A design is basically to guide us and give the customer a visual. Well, in the field, as the contractor, we're making changes to that design every day.
I think that's amazing. And I love what you mentioned about, a designer should have 5 years of field experience because
Engineer, architect, any of them.
because if it's just drawing shit because it looks good, it may not work. I mean, it may look good, but it may not work.
It never works.
And then the contractor would be a fool to follow a beautiful design that the client loves because it looks good on paper, but then it doesn't actually work. You run into drainage issues.
And we tell our client, we're very clear. You have to communicate with your client and tell them, we're making this change because of this. And we tell them up front, listen, this isn't a conceptual drawing. We might make changes here. It's not going to be exactly to this. We're going to make it better in the field as we're building. And a lot of times you hit obstacles, you hit things you didn't see. You know, when they found a gas line, we got to move the retaining wall 5 foot. There's 100 things that could go wrong.
Wow. Very interesting. And the way of speaking about it, dude, it's fucking spot on, dude. I mean, you know your shit, bro. I think I know that you know your shit, but like, thinking of it, you're making me think about some shit, bro. So that's amazing. So let me ask you this, man. What are some of your favorite projects to do? Like, of course, you guys put a retaining wall, there's a slope there. You guys put papers down. Is there a specific, is it like an outdoor kitchen that you enjoy doing? Like, is there a specific piece of a project that you really enjoy? Or do you enjoy the entire thing?
It's when I'm doing the full outdoor living project that's got all the features incorporated into it. The best part, my favorite part, is when you get a picture 6 months after you go on, you've left the job,
Right.
and it's your client out there with their children, with having a party, and people enjoying that space. That's my favorite project.
Wow. So it's long after you're gone when you're using it, and it's like the family is there.
Yeah, there's always the ones that look the best. Yeah, that was my favorite,
Yeah.
But the ones that are, I have one we did. Actually, you mentioned before, you love Hardscape so much, your screensavers.
Right.
That project we built, a client sent me a picture of his whole family out there. They had a TV, a movie projector screen set up. They were out by the fire pit, 10 o'clock at night, watching movies. That is my favorite project because I'm giving them a space to have family time, a space to have parties, and enjoy it. And that's what they're paying for.
Do you ever have I think that's fucking beautiful, by the way, because that's what you're selling. In fact, shout out to James again because I had him on the podcast and he mentioned we're not selling patios, we're selling a space for your family to have a good time, and that's what you guys are selling, guys. In Hardscape, outdoor living, that's what it is. Because if they don't use it, there's no point. But my next question is going to be this: do you ever have clients that build a super expensive looking backyard and then they don't use it?
Oh, absolutely.
But then, what was the point? For them.
I don't know. I'm not in their head, and I don't have that discussion with them.
Right.
I've had them that they built it. The guy got transferred, and he moved to another state for work, so he didn't get to enjoy what we built. There's so many different reasons, but I would say 90% of the people are using what we built, and they're happy with it.
But either way, in the scenario of that guy that, for example, got relocated or had to move, the home of the value increased. So if he sold the house, the value of the houses.
Market study came out last year, 17.6% from adding an outdoor living project to the backyard.
Increasing that value of your home. Now, what is that in numbers? So, I can't really picture 17%. Is that more than what he paid for you to do it?
I don't know. I'd have to look at that on paper as well.
Okay.
And I think each job would be different, and each home's value would be different. Because I could go and put a $500,000 backyard on a $2 million home, and that's going to be a different percentage than if I did a $200,000 job on a $500,000 home. So every job is going to be different on what your value you're going to get out of what we do.
That way you mentioned there about the 17% increase on average reminded me of Andy Elliott. Shout out to Andy. Shout out to Elliott Squad. I don't know if you know he's a motivational guy. Not motivational, but he's like a sales trainer. But the reason why I mentioned him is because I was watching a video of him teaching pool contractors how to sell their projects, their pools. And he was saying that when you talk to a homeowner, he told me, hey, listen, whether you do this or not, it's free. The reason why it's free is because yes, you're paying $100,000 to build a pool in your backyard, but when you go and sell the home, you're not just your home is $100,000 more expensive or worth $100,000 more with the pool. So like it's free because when you go to sell it, you pay nothing for it.
And I don't know if those numbers are accurate or not, but
what do you think about that analogy? Is that like a sales analogy?
see, I don't sell like that.
How do you sell?
We sell with passion and what my client wants. Like I said, we sell on referral. Our jobs are all referral and return customers. They know what they're getting when they come to us. We're selling on what they want and what their needs are. We're not selling them on, you can make your own. That's not our style. We're not salesmen. We're installers. We give them value. They pay us, but we're giving more value than what they're paying us. Big difference, and that's the problem with some coaches. He's probably never put a pool in his life. I don't know the gentleman, and I'm saying coaches in general, right? You have some coaches that add value in your business. I have coaches that add value to my business. When you're trying to teach a sales technique like that, to me, unethical. I'm selling to my customer what they want, what they need, and giving them value.
Let's talk about that because I'm in sales too. Right? I'm in sales because I run a marketing and branding agency. I sell websites, I sell SEO, I sell Google Ads, Facebook ads, I sell leads. But I don't like the unethical shit. You're right. You didn't think about that because I've had clients, I've had lawn care guys, which by the way, a lot of my guys are my clients are lawn care guys that are starting to phase into Hardscape projects, and I help them make the transition so they can brand themselves as that company that they trust. Some of them are not at that point, and I do not sell them. I say, hey, listen, I can sell. I'll bring you a proposal. I'll say, hey, listen, I can build you this $6,000 website, but you may not need it. You're at a point where, if you're still cutting grass, what's the point of you having a $6,000 website? Your product is not that expensive, So not ethical stuff. Maybe think there. So what does that mean? Something with passion. What does that are you gonna
We're gonna do right by our client. Just like you said, you're not gonna sell them something they don't need.
Right. Exactly.
We're selling them what they want, what we think is gonna work for them. We're gonna create and add value to their home, but we're not gonna use that as our sales technique. Yeah, we're adding. We're not gonna tell them we're gonna add something. No, listen. This is what you're looking for. This is what we're gonna build you. We're gonna give you the best value we can for the money you're spending with us.
Right. What type of objections do you even get objections in your sales calls? Like when you go to close and you have a proposal.
I close 85% of my jobs.
5%. But you're coming from referrals.
Everything is referral.
What about that 15%? Are those guys that went to the cheaper contractor, or what are their objections? Why did they not move forward?
I don't ask, but some of them just didn't know what this type of project cost. Some of them we didn't buy. They buy better with another contractor. Most of my jobs I don't bid against people, but there are jobs that I do. But I would say 70% of my jobs I'm not bidding against landscaper A, hardscaper B. We're there because they want us to put their project in. But that takes years and years and years of trust and building a business that people have seen in the community for years. So when somebody sees a company that's been here 20 years, they know that company's doing right by people. You know, when you see the same, colored trucks drive down the road every day, people, they see that name. You can't become successful overnight in this business without proving yourself. Now, are there exceptions? Are there some guys that, is that skill? Is it luck? I don't know. I have to fail a lot and do the right thing to keep my reputation. And that, I don't care who you are, you're gonna have failures. Everybody has failures in this business. Something doesn't go right on a job. It's what you do after the fact that you had that failure is what's gonna dictate your reputation. If you walk away from it and just forget about it, your reputation is gonna go right down the drain. But if you own up to it and say, hey, we had a problem, we fucked up, we're gonna fix it. That client's gonna go sell more jobs for you than the client that you didn't have a problem with and they loved it. Because they're gonna see what you did and say, he went above and beyond and he did the right thing by us.
Wow. Even after a failure.
Absolutely.
Would you mind chiming in on some of the failures you've had in your career? Like, have you ever had what are some of the failures you've had? Like, is it like big projects that just didn't run profitable? You ever have to?
Well, I would say it was project, but failures for me were not the project itself. It was I didn't bid it enough. Didn't bid enough on it, so we didn't make as much money.
Have you ever had a project where you lose money?
Oh yeah, I have a bunch of ones that I lost money on.
Yeah,
and that's what's tough in this business because you don't know, especially the bigger the project. We've come to now where we used to bid things by the square foot. That's where we had problems. We don't have those problems now. We put systems into place the way we bid our projects, and we bid everything on material, cost of material, labor hours. And now that you can still mess up there. You have to get your labor hours right. That's the hardest part. Overhead and profit. And we don't do it on that square foot number anymore. We won't know our square foot number till we have our final number for the job, and we take the square footage and divide it by that number. It might come out to 28, 22. It might come out to 34, 36. Every job is different for us now. Because when I was younger, I remember when pavers were $6 a square foot to put in, install. Our average right now is 28 to 32 is what we're getting for installation.
$32 a square foot.
Well, between 28 and 32. That seems to be where the numbers that we come up with fall into that range now.
Quite interesting. How can you calculate that number? Like, does that include your material?
Because so it's the material, labor, overhead, profit. Combine all four of those together.
Awesome. I'm going to go with a different angle here. Okay, cool. So, we're talking about investing in some mentorship and being a model before that or at your level or trying to get to the next level, right? So, what about in the hardscape space? I know there's HMA, there's Look Explore. Are you a part of those? Are you a part of that?
So we actually compete. We go to HNA every year. We go to the Northeast Hardscape Expo every year. We're very involved in the organizations that support and are part of the hardscape industry. Right. So we did our first competition 4 or 5 years ago up in Connecticut for the Northeast Hardscape Expo. We took second place, and that qualified us to go down to Louisville to HNA and Quip. And we compete for the national title every year. Now I have my son who's going to be 19 next. While we're at GIE HNA, he will turn 19 and he will be on the national stage this year.
Oh, wow. So
he's 18 now, he'll be turning, and I got another young guy. To me, we're not out there trying to win every year. I'm out there promoting my son, letting him promote himself, letting him learn the trade, and eventually he's going to win. But you don't go in at 19 years old and beat guys that have been doing this for 20 years.
I mean, but look at his dad. Look at what he's talking about. He's got a shot.
Oh, I kind of know he's got a shot. But I'm more about letting him get the experience and the recognition and building his brand. That's why we do it now. It's not, I'm not out there to, we set a goal to go and win, but it's not our top priority. Our top priority is for him to get out there and have fun and enjoy himself and learn.
I love that because you're not like forcing like, but look, you have to hook him. You're not putting pressure on him. You're building him up piece by piece. I fucking love that. By the way, your son is a killer. And he's a cheat because I think he did 75 points right?
Twice. He did it at 15 and 17.
Dude, imagine being fucked with 15 as a sophomore in high school. You walk in.
And we're now he lost 80 pounds for this program. Now, summer vacation, we're up upstate New York fishing. We had to get off the lake early so we could go get his workout in. And he was like, let's go get it done. And I wasn't on the program. I went and did the workout with him.
That's fucking great. I love the relationship you guys have.
He's my best friend. He is my everything. I love that kid more. I've never had to yell at him, discipline him. I am blessed with an amazing young man.
Wow, that's fun.
And he's running his own jobs now. I mean, he's on a pretty large project running it himself. Yeah, I show up, I go over things with him every day, but I leave him. He runs that project. He sold his first 2 jobs this year, and he went on 3 estimates so far. He sold 2 of them. The one he didn't get, the guy called me up and he said, I just want to tell you how amazing the young man, knowledgeable, respectful, and a pleasure. We didn't even get that job, but this guy said, well, that young man was my son.
18 years old.
18 years old.
Yeah, this kid's gonna be. He's gonna out.
Oh, he's gonna 100x this company.
And it's something to be proud of, right? Because as a coach or as a dad, it's like, you want to see your son go out and do it.
Oh, he's better and he's going to. I know that for a fact. He's much smarter than me. He's much more determined than me. You know, he's a special breed, that kid.
It's fucking amazing. That's amazing. And let's keep talking about today, actually. So how does it work? In order to compete, so you start competing at
the regional levels, and then
so there's like Northwest.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5 around the country, and you need to qualify to get down to HNA.
So HNA is the main one in Kentucky.
Yes, that's the national championship of Hardscape installers.
Wow, dude, that's amazing. Anybody that's watching, make sure you get your tickets. I'm going to be that. My tickets.
Yep, we'll be there. Hey, get your tickets and come down. If you're in the hardscape industry, if you're in the lawn, green industry, if you're in the snow industry, you guys, you need to be a GI. You need snow too. Oh yeah, no, there was a whole site, and we have I'm in a group that's with Snow Jobs Podcast. Shout out to the Snow Job boys.
Yeah.
And we have our inner circle, and we get an Airbnb together. All of us travel together down there, and we do a couple of podcasts before on what we want to look at, and then we do one afterwards talking about what we learned, what we saw, what's new, what's great. So those guys are crushing the podcast scene. And the snow industry. They've taken over the snow industry.
Yeah. Shout out to those guys, 100%. They're crushing it. Let's talk about snow actually, because I think from a previous conversation we had, you mentioned that you're more profitable for snow than hardscape.
Yes. Yeah. No, so I have a separate company, Anthony Mann Services. That's our commercial snow and ice division, or company. And yeah, no, that's much more profitable than the hardscaping for us.
Really? Now you said commercial.
We only do commercial, mostly big retail lots, industrial, manufacturing, hospital, and medical facilities, stuff like that.
Now, how do you get those jobs? I know you have to bid, but how do you even get the opportunity to get anybody to say it? How does that work?
It's all about connections. It's all about connections, RFPs, request for proposal.
What's that?
So it's when somebody sends a building sends, they want to have somebody bid their project, they send out to a bunch of people a request for RFP. And everybody just bids it. It's very competitive, but snow is very profitable. We've separated ourselves. We use a lot of liquids now. So liquid brine, we manufacture it, we sell it to other contractors.
What is that for?
That's for de-icing. So instead of using salt, we're using 70% less material. So we're helping the environment. We can put it on with an additive. We can put it in concrete. It's not going to deteriorate concrete. Like salt.
Concrete cracks, right?
Yeah, with salt destroys concrete.
Wow.
Yeah. So our liquid brine with the additive is not corrosive.
And it's just as effective like the snow won't hit.
So it will. We use it as a pre-treatment so that it doesn't bond to the pavement.
And like the night before snow, right?
Yeah, we can go out 3 nights before a storm and apply this.
Really?
Yeah.
It'll stay, like,
It'll stay there, and cars aren't going to pick it up. You're not going to have people walking in your stores. making white print all over your floor. It's not going to run off the road when we do private roads. So we can spray it staying where we put it.
Wow, that is amazing. And you guys don't use salt at all?
No, we still use salt.
Very light.
We use probably 40% less salt than we used to.
So what's the process? Like you put down the brine a couple days before,
Yep.
it snows, you plow it, and then put salt?
Yes. So, or we spray it again with liquid. We have a condo complex that we don't do the plowing at, but we pre-treat it and we post-treat it with liquid because they were having so much runoff and killing all the grass and the plants. It was costing more money to go and fix all that in the spring. And you don't want to put too much salt into your well water system. Where we're at, there's a lot of well water. It's not city water.
What is that?
So well water with salt goes down to the ground, gets into the wells.
So you're showering with that?
Yeah, right. You're showering, you're drinking. People drink their well. Where city water, you have
It's true.
it's treated, you have plants and everything, and you don't have that salt getting into that water system.
Here, I never thought of it.
I have a passion for the snow industry as well.
Here.
And I still sit in the truck and plow if I'm not in Florida.
Really?
If I'm down in Florida during the winter, I spend 2 weeks a month down in Florida over the winter. So if there's a storm and it's under 6-8 inches, I'll stay down there and I'll manage it from my phone. If I know, we have paid meteorologists. We know if we're getting a bigger storm, I'm going to hop on a flight and get up here and be here for my team.
That's amazing.
If not, my son runs for snow operations.
And it shows that. Like you don't take it good fuck you. You're not like a hot shot. Oh fuck that! I'm off the field. Like a fuck my team.
I love being in the truck plowing snow. Love it.
It's fucking awesome. And shout out to the actual picture you have. It's a ride. That thing is insane.
That's a nice truck. That's my mobile office. It better be nice, Yeah, listen, for years and years and years, I drove old trucks. And I used to look at the guys with the new trucks and envy them. And, you get to a point where you need something a little more comfortable, a little more reliable, and you earn it,
You earned it. I love that. So, let me ask you this. How can a small guy, 20, 19, 24, 22-year-old get into commercial snowplow? Or even commercial hardscape plowing? Is that all connection? Is there a way to circumvent
With commercial hardscape, a lot of it is connections. You got to have a relationship with the builders. We don't do as much commercial, but we do still do some, but not a lot. There's no detail, and it's cheapest price gets it. If it's on price, we're not going to get that project. We're not the cheapest because we're putting our heart, soul, and doing the details and doing the job right. Where a lot of these commercial jobs they don't care. They just want it done as cheap as possible. It's all about bottom dollar money. Homeowners going to pay. That's why we've switched back to that high-end residential client
on the
hardscape side. On the snow side, yeah, they're shopping price on the commercial, but you've got to find the customer, prove yourself to them. Once you're with them, just do the right thing by them. Make sure that their lot is clean and safe. Your paperwork is there to back it up. Your documentation is done. And listen, you can do everything right. And they might decide the next year to pick somebody because he's cheaper. There's always going to be somebody cheaper. There's always going to be someone more expensive. So you've got to sell yourself on value that you're going to supply to that client, and that you're going to keep their property safe. And when you tell them you're going to be there at a certain time, make sure your trucks are there, your machines are there working.
Do you think guys all get slack on that? Like, it's a commercial lot. If it's slower, snow plowing. There's nobody there. Nobody's going to see you.
Well, the lots we're in, there's people there all the time. Some of our facilities are open 24 hours a day.
Oh, wow. So that really counts for being on time. But I'm saying, like, if it's like a shop lot or something, or some sort of strip mall, but there's nobody there, it's a huge storm, guys might kind of like slide to do it the next day.
No,
nobody's going to see you.
Where there's a storm coming, our operators and drivers are out an hour. They're on site an hour before it starts snowing. And we're waiting for the snow to come. I don't want my trucks and my guys having to drive on the road with bad conditions. And we're there until the 10th. We don't leave.
Oh shit!
Yeah, we'll be out in the storm for 40 hours if we have to.
Like
I've been out for 6 days. I've slept in the truck for a couple hours. So we might sleep in that truck at night in the parking lot when there's nobody there.
But that's not that works.
But 4 o'clock, we're up. We're gonna have that place open for 6 a.m. Because we have places that shut down, but don't matter. They don't shut down. Nursing homes, hospitals, like those places do not shut down.
Dude, I know that's how it works.
During the nor'easter on the northeast, when you get 30 inches of snow, you're in your truck for 6 days. There's no going home. That you might get a couple hours sleep here and there, but we're there when the job's done.
Dude, that is amazing. So like you're sleeping in there. Yeah, I was gonna ask, like, how's the fuck does that work? If it's a snowstorm and there's there's snow on the road to get there. So how do you get there on time with all the snow? It's just you just stay at the lot.
Yeah, well, we have some trucks that go from lot to lot, and yeah, you gotta drive careful. You know, the trucks are out plowing the roads, but a lot of our stuff has dedicated equipment to it on the bit. Now, a smaller guy that's got, some small parking lots, 7-Elevens, gas stations, he's got to keep driving around. It makes it a little bit more difficult. But 80% of our stuff has dedicated loaders, backhoes, skid steers, and trucks dedicated to that site. We have 3 trucks that do revolving, that we go to different sites. And route work. A lot of Red Bull, a lot of cigars or cigarettes. Back when I smoked cigarettes, a lot of cappuccino.
So what are you doing in the truck? I mean, are you listening to music, podcasts, reading, sleeping, eating?
Podcast, music, it depends. Certain times you want that music to get the energy. Sometimes you want to listen to a podcast and you're getting some educational stuff. No, we're not reading because we crash. We get after the first 48 hours, I might get 4 hours of sleep that next night.
Wow. After 48 hours of being up.
Yeah.
You get up, like you said, well, you just wake up.
You're sleeping in a truck. You ain't gonna sleep that long. It's not that comfortable.
Wow. Dude, this is fucking amazing. I'm loving this conversation, dude. Yeah. You too. It's the.
This place is nice.
Tina.
That's Tina.
Shout out to Tina.
Tina's on this wall too.
Shout out to Tina. That was nice. Hope you got good. But
Tina likes cigars.
Tina likes cigars. Look, she's spoken with names from all resumes. Okay, let's talk about this. I mean, you as over 30 years of experience, like, would you ever consider coaching or anything like that? What's the kind of like the next play?
Well, it's funny you say that. Yeah, we're about to launch our coaching mentorship group podcast, and I have a passion for working with young kids. And I have 7 guys I mentor now. Some of them are high school still. Some of them have worked for me before, and I don't charge it. I've been doing it just to learn the coaching game. Because you don't just step into it and become a coach. A mentor, yeah, you can be, you get that over years of experience. But yeah, no, the next step, we're going to start our coaching group, start our mentorship group, to work with young kids. We want to educate the next generation of hardscape contractors. When I was coming up, I didn't have anybody to teach me, didn't have anybody to talk to. Give these guys someone that they can talk to, call, work with, learn from, and I think that we're all set to launch this year at Hardscape North America. We just got some final couple things to put together, a little bit of marketing material to get finished up, a couple T's to cross and I's to dot, and we're going to start taking these kids and making them better.
That is amazing. I'm happy about that, bro, because as a marketing and branding agency, and I work with a lot of contractors in the industry. I mean, shout out to all of my clients, shout out to Jacob, shout out to Evan, shout out to all these guys. And a lot of the younger guys that see, like, oh, wow, he did this straight out. I want that. And can you teach me how to do clients too, and how to do this, and how to operate at this level? I'm like, hey, listen, I'm a coach. Like, I would love to sit here and be like, I'll give you the information that I know from the companies I've had, but as far as be coachable, I go through that. But I want to point them to somebody. I never point them to other guys in the space that I trust. But you're follow. That's what I fucking appreciate. You've got experience, you've got it. Because a lot of guys don't teach on the field.
What my business coaches that I've learned from says, don't learn from someone who's never built something. So you got a lot of these young internet coaches out there on the internet selling courses and things that have never built anything. Now, there are a couple young ones out there, we talked about this earlier, that have built things, and I have respect for those guys because they have built a real business.
Right. It may not be a huge, but they've built something.
They built something,
Right.
and you don't want to learn from someone who's never built anything. We built something.
Yeah, man. I mean, are you going to give us like a sneak peek as to what we expect in that, or what do you think? It's not secret or what? What is this?
Yeah, we're going to keep that under wrap for now until everything is finalized, because there might be some changes to it. But it'll be a group setting. There'll be some one-on-one. There'll even be opportunities to have me come to your job. So say you're a young guy, you've built sidewalks, you've built some patios, and you just got your first full outdoor living backyard, and you don't know how to lay it out. You don't know what the first step is on the project. We'll come out and we'll help you set that job up, set some elevations up, ask any, answer any questions that they have, but just get the job started for them. Then work with you through FaceTime. I use FaceTime with some of my younger guys now. They'll call up and say, hey, I don't know what I don't know how to make this cut perfect. What angle should I mark this on? And they'll turn their phone on. I'll see what they're looking at, give them some direction, and then bam, they get it and it's done.
That is super valuable because, especially if it's a guy who's proficient for lawn care, it's a hard
no, that's the clients that's my target client is the young guy who wants to build it. Who I see, I'm not going to take everyone that wants to sign up for me. We're not going after the max. We're going after the guys that want to get better. The guys that want to put the work in. If they're not willing to put the work in, we don't want to work with them. We want the guy that has a passion that says, I want to build these dream backyards like you're building. Well, I want to work with that gentleman. And I want to teach him what I've learned. I want to teach him my mistakes that I've made so that he can build a better and stronger business.
Wow, that's holy shit. And there's groups out there, I'm not going to say the names, that have something like that where you can chat and get to know. But it's FaceTime, so I'm not using that. But just knows the answer like that, that's valuable.
Or to show up on your
Or to
site.
show up on the site too, because it's different. Because like I can tell you, hey, listen, do this and do this. But if you don't know how to do it, somebody can fly and do it.
And there'll be different levels to the group. So there'll be a general community where we'll have a group chat so we can all talk together and network and ask questions, and some group coaching. Then there will be the one-on-one coaching where they want to learn about maybe scaling their business, maybe about leadership, maybe about culture. And I have other people that culture. I'm still learning about culture, but I have a culture coach that I might be able to bring in and get in a group setting to help these guys out. I've been learning about leadership now for 5-6 years, and I've done it. I've led teams. But I'm a work in progress too. I'm going to keep educating myself by people who are smarter than me, and then I'm going to bring some of that and some of the stuff that I've learned and bring that to them and let them bring these guys up. I'm on a ladder. I'm climbing. I'll never make the top, but I'm going to grab the guy behind me on this side. I'm going to grab this guy that wants to climb and bring it with him.
That's what really fucking. I'm excited for that. Really fucking.
I never had that when I was young growing up. And then now that I've got some coaches and mentors in my life, my business part of it. I was always the guy that got dirty, was out in the field. The first thing one of my coaches told me is work on the business, not in the business. And you don't need to be in the field. You need to be in business development, working on spreadsheets, getting the paperwork done, getting the estimate done. My strong suit is sales. That's what my main role right now in the company is client relations and sales.
Wow.
I don't work on the job sites that often.
Right. It's because that's one thing I see too. Let me get into this too. I think it's a lot of guys think that it's just okay. I'm on the field. I'm grinding. I'm hustling. I'm there. 16-hour days, and I'm in the field, and I'm that guy. Can that guy grow? Can you stay? It's impossible to stay in the field and have a $10 million.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And my hardest part was trusting people and not micromanaging. When I hired an operations manager to run the guys, I had very little contact with the field crews, and I had contact with my leadership team. My leadership team then went out to the fields and executed. And I was able to work with the clients. I was able to go and do the business development side. I was able to be talking to vendors, negotiating pricing, attend seminars so I could learn and I could learn.
That's amazing. And now you packaging that up. It's the cool thing about coaching is like, I can invest in this.
I want to be a mentor.
I meant
More than a coach.
more than a coach.
I want someone that looks up to me and wants to learn from me.
And that's the beauty, because like somebody like that's gonna be learning from you. And it's not just learning from you, they're learning from all your past coaches that you paid a ton of money for it. And now they're getting
And my mistakes I've made.
and the mistakes that they're not gonna make from learning from you. And like they're getting that knowledge out of this time. Because you had to pay a shit ton of money to get that info, and now you're passing.
But I'm not going to take their content and pass it off.
Of course, I know.
You know,
Like,
we're genuine. We're real.
Exactly.
We're gonna use skills that we have learned and that we've learned. We implemented them in real life situations, and we're gonna pass those real life situations on. And a lot of the leadership in the basic stuff is all the same. Doesn't matter what coach you're dealing with. The basics. But there's some coaches out there who are badass coaches, mentors that you don't go and take their stuff and give it to somebody
of
else.
course not, yeah. And then you're not playing with your own twist too hard.
Yeah.
So that-
and this our coaching is going to only be for hardscape contractors. Is only going to be for people who are going to put the work in. It's only going to be for we're not going to work with every person that says, hey, we're going to pay you to be my mentor or my coach. We're going to kind of like that. We're going to look at them. We're going to look at their company. We're going to look at them, their character. We're going to look at, there's going to be a lot of different things that's going to decide whether or not we work with that client.
Wow.
This is a passion for me. It's not my career.
Right, you're not trying.
I'm not trying to make $1 million. I'm looking to help people. That's why now I do it for free. I have 7 of them that I do it for free. One guy worked for me. I think he was with me 7 to 10 years. Went off on his own and started. And we talk twice a week, and I'm helping him grow his business. And he's doing phenomenal.
Who reminds you of numbers? That's the one that.
I don't get into his numbers with him. I think he hit $1 million last year. Yes. I'm pretty sure he did. Just by what I know he has in equipment. Listen, I'm mentoring him on the skills of what it takes, not on his numbers.
I cannot thank you enough for being a part of this podcast. It's been a fucking pleasure. I want to respect all the time.
I appreciate the time you gave me. I appreciate us doing this in person and not sitting there looking into a computer screen. And this is real, man.
We go like this. Let's fucking go. Dude, let's go. Dude, I'm fucking pumped for what you have going on, dude. And it's fucking amazing. Like I said, thank you so much for coming on, dude. Is there anything else you want to leave the audience with? Anything else, last touches, anything like that? What do you think those 3 things that this all guys need to do right now?
For you young guys, answer the phone when people call people back, show up on time, and do the right thing. And remember, details matter.
So it's fucking bad. Well, guys, so you guys have it. Follow down with this podcast. Give us a follow. Give us a like. Go into my Facebook. Go into my Instagram. Go into YouTube. Subscribe. Like. Stay active. And how can you always get in contact with you? How can we follow your journey? How can we be around?
At Anthony Group Hardscapes on IG. That's most of our content's on Instagram. You can find my other Instagram there for Anthony Winter Services. But yeah, no, come check it out. Look at some of our projects. We've got some really cool projects on there you can check out. We've got some of our leadership stuff that we've learned on there. We'll be documenting everything down in Hardscape North America. And look, keep your eyes out, guys. The new product, it's coming. It's coming hard. It's driven on passion, not on money. So you're gonna get a lot more value.
There it is. It was a pleasure to fucking have you on. You're a fucking real guy. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir. Another one of the folks, baby. Let's go.